you. Okay, go ahead.
Hi. What we're hoping to do here is give people some information about their rights and about the laws having to do with marijuana and cannabis. To begin with, we'll address the federal issues. Federally, marijuana is on the controlled substance list as a Scheduled 1 drug, which means that the government believe it has no accepted medical value. All marijuana use is illegal under federal law. However, under federal law, you also have the Religious Freedoms Restoration Act, which allows for the use of the practice of your religious or spiritual beliefs in any way you deem appropriate. In other words, in the UDV decision, the courts held that it doesn't have to be central to the church's beliefs for you to hold it as a belief. And in this particular case, what that means is if you're a Catholic and you personally believe that smoking marijuana will make you a better Catholic or put you closer to the Creator, then that is your religious right guaranteed you under the Constitution and under the Religious Freedoms Restoration Act. Sadly, the federal government has us living in such a state of fear that everyone is afraid to exercise their rights as guaranteed under the Constitution. And you'll find by the time we get to the end of this, that's really what this is all about, is your rights. If we look back at the historical application of cannabis as a whole, and we go back in time a couple thousand years, most of us lived in tribal groups, and if we wanted to have a good harvest or a bountiful harvest, we went to the shaman and we asked the shaman to do the ceremonies necessary for a good harvest. If we wanted our fertility rites or whatever, they would have the shaman perform the ceremonies. Now, if you were out walking through the woods and you ripped your foot wide open on a sharp rock, you didn't go to a doctor. You went to the shaman. If your wife started her period and had cramps, she didn't go to the drugstore. She went to the shaman. The shaman's role as a doctor was a very, 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 very small part of his role in leading the group or in helping the group. And that's much the same as we have in marijuana today. The medical aspects of this wonderful plant are truly a very, very narrow piece of the overall pie, which is cannabis. Hemp can and will save the world if given the opportunity. There's still standing law in Britain that 10 acres of hemp will be grown for every sail in the Queen's Navy, which I believe they grow for her in India. Up until I believe it was 88, marijuana was the sacred sacrament and incense of the Catholic Church until it was outlawed by Pope Pius because witches were using it to lead men from the church. Not from God so much, but from the church. The United States government mandated that hemp be grown. They had films out such as Hemp for Victory, where you were made to believe that you were a terrorist, an anti-American, and unpatriotic, a traitor to your country, if you did not grow hemp for the war movement. It's hard to understand how this has been changed by the federal government in the last 50 or 60 years. But it has been. So under the federal government, it has no accepted medical value and is illegal. However, as a religious sacrament, it is completely and totally legal. Now, dealing with the state, We'll deal specifically with California state issues, and hopefully these will help the other states of people that have medical marijuana laws that allow for the use of it in their state. To begin with, in California, it is legal for you to take your medicine anywhere it's legal to smoke a cigarette. There was a letter written by the Attorney General of the state of California explaining that hashish is not any different than marijuana. There are many people out there who are getting charged for having hashish. Look at the Attorney General's letter. It's right out of the Attorney General's office and says that hashish is the same as marijuana, cannot be charged as a separate crime or looked at as a different drug, much like they do in cocaine and rock cocaine, which I believe was done strictly to prosecute young black men, but that's neither here nor there. The point is that if you understand the laws and you understand your rights, you can protect yourself. For example, there are people out there saying that if a county you live in has a 25 plant limit, that's 25 plants for the whole house. Well, that's not true. That's a 25 plant limit per patient. Now, you must have a valid recommendation signed by a legally licensed physician in the state of California to qualify. But for every recommendation that you have, you are allowed to have how many ever plants your county's guidelines call for. Under Proposition 215, there are no guidelines. And so, theoretically, you can grow as many plants as you wish. The other side of that is that you have to stay in bounds of believability, if you will. That would mean that most of the counties that have the 99 plant limits will allow you to have 99 plants. But let's say you have 6 people in the house and you have 600 plants up there. The federal government's probably going to go very, very hard on you. So you have to use some common sense. Now, if you're pulled over by the police, all you are mandated to show them is your recommendation. You do not have to allow them to search your car, and allowing them to search your car is giving up your rights. You need to remember that they are governing us by fear, and as long as we fear them, then we roll over on our backs and we let them do whatever they want to do. I was recently stopped. I insisted that they not search my vehicle, that they stay away from it, and ultimately I walked away from the whole situation while retaining Linda's medicine. So if you know your rights and you know the laws and you stick up for your rights, the police officers usually will leave you alone. But there are too many people out there that have never read 215, who have never read SB 420, and who do not know what's going on. And briefly in closing, we'll address SB 420. Senate Bill 420 does not carry the weight of law. It was found to be unconstitutional, except that the entire program is wholly voluntary. That is the only reason it survived court scrutiny. You must volunteer to participate in that program. There are no minimums or no limits set by SB 420 that apply to anyone that follows 215. SB 420 does not carry, again, the weight of law. You do not have to obey it or have anything to do with it. And if they're prosecuting you because of something that's found in SB 420, if you do not have a state card, it does not apply to you. The Attorney General of the state of California made it very clear that your doctor's recommendation is a legally guaranteed right, not a defense to be used in court. Stick up for your rights and don't ever let it get to court. I hope this has helped you. If we can help you any further, please contact us at Eddy's Medicinal Gardens. Thank you so very much.